This is the Automotive Repair Podcast Network.
Hey everybody, Carm Capriotto here, Remarkable Results Radio. It's always great to have you here, and we thank you so much. We couldn't do this without your support. And don't forget, we've got a YouTube channel out there, and I would not hesitate to ask you to please subscribe, because that keeps us going, and we appreciate that. Also, I'm going to be at the TST big event March 28th in Tarryton, New York. Studio will be there. We'll be doing some recordings, and my daughter Tracy will be giving the keynote. Andrew Fisher, Ken Zanders, and Adam Roberts will be there. Go to tstseminars.org and sign up. Don't forget about our great smartphone app. Boy, do we love this thing. We've worked on it for so long. It's a super playlist all in one place for your smartphone, the ultimate professional automotive repair playlist, like I like to call it. Save your favorites, build a category library, Automotive Repair Podcast Network.com/app. And we've got QR codes and everything everywhere. It's so easy to get and have fun with and get all your great content all in one place. Look, thank you so much to our great sponsors. Take your NAPA Auto Care Center to the next level with the NAPA Auto Care Gold Certified program. Gold Certified shops, well, they stand out. Build trust and enjoy exclusive benefits designed to drive business growth. Contact your NAPA representative today to get started with Gold Certified. Hey, did you know that NAPA Tracks has on-site training plus 6 days a week support? It all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice. Let us prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. Find NAPA Trax on the web at napatracs.com. Tom Ham. It's been a bit, Tom. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm great, Tom. Tom, I got to tell you, when we get together and chat, just about anything can come up.
That's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And especially you love to tease me that I'm in Buffalo and you're down in Florida, and that you know that I have minus 14 wind chill today, and you're sitting on what kind of temp?
Well, the wind chill today is down to 55, so temperature's probably up around 60. We're going through a cold spell here right now, but we'll come out of it soon.
I've got a bunch of violins over here that I'd love to play for you. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Tom Ham, a shop owner, Autocentric up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a great supporter of the show for over all the years we've been doing this. Also, the Automotive Management Network, automotivemanagementnetwork.com. We are going to talk about the labor rate tracker. How long ago did you put this thing up?
A couple of years ago.
It's on fire. I know we want to talk about what you're seeing from this. And also, we want to talk about some other really cool stuff. So please stick around for Tom's perspective, knowing that he's so connected to the industry about shop profitability, where equipment and or software costs may go. And he has an opinion on where marketing will be going as far as its level of sophistication. Will it be harder to acquire really top technicians, as I like to call specialists? And Tom, I love this. I can't wait to get to it. Super R&R technicians or specialists becoming the king of the shop. And you know what? I have to agree with you, and I can't wait to hear your particular take on this. Listen, let's jump into the labor rate tracker, the good stuff that you're pulling from it. I know you've kind of pulled some surveys together. Please tell us what you're seeing and hearing.
Well, it's steadily going up, which we would expect. It's somewhat of a increased pace as time goes on. I think we're maybe set to see a little bit of a surge. Back when a few years when we broke $100 an hour, it kind of sat right below that. When it got past that, it went up quickly after that. And now we're closing in on 200. We're getting a lot of shops reporting in the close to 200 range, and a few of them over 200. And I think that's going to be another psychological barrier. Once people are comfortable getting over the 2 number, then you'll see it go up quite a bit from there. We try to keep the rates fresh. One of the common questions we ask, how do you know they're fresh? Well, it is a volunteer system that we do on one hand, but we do have reminders go out. When you put the rate in, when you register the rate for your shop, which is private, by the way, we don't broadcast who you are. Just your town is the only thing we broadcast. But you get a reminder every 6 months, hey, please update your rate. So we keep it fresh that way. Again, we just publish city, state, no shop names, no addresses, nothing like that.
Talk to me about your highest rates that you're seeing, Tom.
Since the inception, the highest rate's always been in the Bay Area, San Francisco, that is. That's always where the highest rates is. That's where you're going to find the shop that's close to 300 or the shops that's over 300. That's where they'll be, right in that area of California. West Coast in general is where the higher rates are. California, up the coast there and so on. In the East, the high spot is Connecticut. For whatever reason, there may be some taxes or something going on there. I don't know exactly why, but Connecticut's a little bit higher.
But isn't Connecticut a state where a lot of people that work in New York live? I always thought that, and don't ask me why.
I thought the New York people lived in New Jersey, or is it the other way around?
I don't know. I thought there were a lot of executives that lived in Connecticut. And of course, I guess when you think about the West Coast and the Bay Area, you think about where the income levels are, which is why, everything's relative to what people are willing to pay. What about the lowest rates? Have you got any indications on that?
Yeah, the lowest rates in the Plain States, areas of the Midwest, and also areas of the South. When you look at the map is kind of like a heat map type thing. So it shows it really nicely in the colors. I'm just glancing over it now on another screen. And it shows it in the colors where you can see kind of the patterns of where the high and the low ones are.
That's a cool feature. I like that, a heat map. So if I was in a southern state and kind of in your, not your highest, but your mid-range, and I was curious to know, listen, I'm talking to people that I know in coaching, and I know I have got some new profit targets, and I know I got to control my costs and my margin, but I also have to figure out, is my labor rate in the ballpark? And I'm not saying that it needs to be the highest or the lowest, but labor rates do drive an awful lot of profitability, or at least cost covering stuff that has to happen. And there's so many other factors. And if I had the ability to go on and say, wow, I've got room to move. And what stops shop owners from making that move if they know this information? Probably just they're afraid.
There's always a fear of increasing any kind of a price with some shop owners. And the reason I say with some shop owners is because you do run into shop owners that go, okay, and they just, they'll just double the price on something because they heard a good reason why they should, and they don't seem to have any.
Not a worry in the world.
Any internal resistance to that at all. It doesn't work in my mind. Matter of fact, when I'll talk to people, I find folks that are uncomfortable. Your rate could be too high or too low, but in the situation where it's too low, or it appears to be too low, and they say, gee, I really can't do that. And I'll tell them, well, just do this. Go to your calendar, $1, $2, $3, whatever, the first of the month, and just do that for a period of time till you get there. And frankly, nobody notices when that happens. I mean, they hardly notice. The advisors don't notice. The tech, nobody notices. The customers don't notice. But over a period of time, it's amazing that the incrementalism is an amazing thing.
This whole dollar thing, I would have to tend to disagree with you. Maybe the chunks are 5. The chunks could be 5, depending on how big your gap is.
Well, sure they could.
Right. Okay. I'm just with you.
Well, sure they could.
Imagine going up $12 in a year because you did it $1 a month. Not really.
We might be talking to a guy in the lowest state where in his area, everybody's around $110 an hour. Or $95 an hour or something like that. In that market, that may be appropriate. On the other hand, San Francisco, maybe it should be 20 a month.
No, I know.
But I'll admit, I try to adjust my message to the audience somewhat.
No, you're right. 100% agree. It's very relative to situations. Now, laborratetracker.com, by the way, that's where you can go and get all this stuff and sign up for it, right?
Yep, just like it sounds.
Do you have to be a member of Automotive Management Network to get that?
You do have to be a member to see if you can get a basic membership, and that will allow you to see the state averages and so on. If you're a full member, then you get to see all the data for individual rates for each city and types of cars and types of shops and that kind of thing to see the full deal.
I love what you just said, types of shops. Do you know where the highest rates are coming up from shop types?
Oh, yeah. RVs are always at the top. franchises, and I think that's just because the franchises are probably more on top of the finances from a corporate standpoint. They don't have the outliers with the low, they have to hit certain KPIs.
I call that sophisticated professionalism.
Sure.
Think about that. All right.
I'll go with that. Dealerships and heavy duty. And heavy duty is coming on absolutely huge. RV is coming on pretty big too. I mean, as far as just the amount of business that's out there. The indies and the fleets, transmission shops, they're kind of in the middle. And at the low end are tire stores and collision. And of course, collision is, that's affected by the insurance thing. So it kind of artificially lowers it, but that's a game that they play. And then motorcycle. So you can kind of see if you have an RV and a motorcycle, you want to pick the right one to have fun with and the right one to work on. And
yeah. So I love the discovery, or at least the breakdowns that you have. Now, we just talked about areas, we talked about shops, and now you also break it down by vehicle type.
Yeah, that's not too terribly unexpected. Some of it anyway. Euro shops are at the top. Asian only shops come below that. Your typical independent all-make shop is in the middle. And then at the bottom is marine and Powersports, which, and it kind of goes back to the motorcycle thing too. I think, a lot of people are doing their own work on those. For whatever reason, the labor rates just have not come up on those the way they've come up on other ones. Yeah, same thing. Make sure you're working on the right thing and having fun with the right thing.
I know you got a 4-figure number of shops that participate. You're asking them every 6 months to come on board and do an update, because I love the reason they have to be updated. I mean, just life goes on. Has this been a hard sell to the industry? It seems like you got a lot of participants.
People seem to cut it both ways. Now, a lot of the shop owners in general like the concept. Some of the trainers don't. They say, well, it really doesn't matter what the other shop up the street is. And I mean, I understand that the point that's being made, but it's like anything that you do. The more information you have, the better. So this is one piece of data. You don't use this to set your labor rate, but this is one piece of data that you would use in a labor rate calculation. You would check A, B, C, D, E, F, and this is maybe G. This is one of those things that you're going to throw in there that's going to give you a little bit more education and be more knowledgeable of what are the rates around here. You get a general idea. And we mentioned before about, we were talking about them going up. And we've seen it go. I've seen shops go down too. I've seen shops come in, post their rate, and then a few months later, they lower their rate down. I think it's partially because they've maybe seen that rate is just too out of whack in the area that they're in. And maybe that's one of the reasons, they're a little light on business. It goes both ways. The idea is to just find out you said ballpark, and that's what it is. It's a ballpark. It's the same thing. Customer will call and they'll say, can you give me a ballpark on such and such a price? And a lot of people get really nervous about that. And other people don't. Other people, yeah, I'll give you a ballpark. It's probably between X and Y. We can argue that one back and forth all afternoon, but, it's an approach. It's a piece of data. Let's take a look of the states on there. 7 of the states, we've got between 50 and 100 shops, California over 100. So we've got some pretty good samples.
Good for you. I've seen over the years and have played with many of the labor rate designers. This is the profit I'd like to make on the company. Here's all my costs. And it backs into a labor rate that if your business stayed the same, even if you increased it, this is where your labor rate needs to be. And there's all kinds of great, if you will, spreadsheets out there like that. The thing I love about the labor rate tracker is if you're deciding in the strategic plan for your business and where your margins and costs and labor rates need to be, the labor rate tracker can help you design up, is this a good move for my business? Does it need to wean itself in over time? I mean, there's a lot of great things by being able to have your tool. So, Automotive Management Network, you can give them a 30-day free trial. You've all kinds of standard operating procedures. I love that on the site.
I make the point on there, these are not AI written. These are all written by shop owners. So it's somebody in a real shop going through a real situation and writing a real SOP related to that situation. So you go in there, you edit a little bit so it fits your shop, and you got something that's solid and good. It doesn't sound weird. A lot of AI stuff, some of it's great, some of it sounds weird. The SOPs that I've seen so far sound a little weird to me. So this is real stuff. Those are included. Management tips, KPI calculators. We take the big primary ones that you need to know, 20 or 25 of them, and we give you automatic calculators. So you can just plug your numbers in. It'll spit it out. You don't have to know any math. There's about 150 surveys, and they're real management surveys asking people real questions. I think the one we have on there right now is car age. And this is something that wasn't used too much in the past, but it's starting to be used more and more, is how old of cars do you work on? About half the shops don't have an age, but some of the other shops do have an age. And then they'll start, I got one shop I talked to is 15 years. He doesn't take anything over 15 years. Because these cars, they deteriorate, they accumulate more problems, et cetera, et cetera. And he just finds that's where you draw the line. And for instance, that's where things like the Google reviews begin to deteriorate. The comebacks begin to increase. So let's find out where that point is. We did that for our shop, and we came in at 23 years. We put a 23-year limit on it. And it's not a hard and fast thing. If we worked on the car before, we got to work on it as long as they own it, right? If you're a regular customer and you're always a good customer and you're logical, reasonable, coherent, you can bring me your old car. But somebody comes in, they're brand new, we've never seen them before, don't know anything about them, they got a 92 Thunderbird. It's kind of like, yeah, we really don't want to get involved in that. Is good, bad, whatever, but I think overall we'll do okay with it. I see about half the shops are doing something like that now, and most of them are right in the 20 to 25 year range is where the most common response is.
Got it. Okay. That's a great takeaway from this episode, is to stop to think about what's your top limit on the age of a vehicle, and just think about it as if you were a consumer listening to this information. One of my cars is 12 years old. I love it. It's an Acura. It just doesn't seem to want to quit. And it's 80-some thousand miles for a 12-year-old car. It's brand new type, right? Okay. It's brand new. And so my thinking is, you're getting me thinking, oh my God, will my shop keep working on this thing if it gets to be older than...
Well, and obviously, that number is going to be very different in the Rust Belt. And, down here in South Florida, these things don't, they just, or Arizona or whatever forever. But up there in, road salt, that's a big deal.
Well, yeah, you never know. We may have rust. Now that you know what it takes to become a NAPA Gold Auto Care Gold certified shop, let's talk about the real value, what you get when you achieve gold. This isn't just about status, it's about tangible benefits that grow your business. Gold certified shops receive premium placement on NAPAonline.com at no additional cost. With millions of site visits each year, your shop will be one of the top options consumers see when they search locally. That visibility, it means more cars in your bays. You'll also get $1,500 annually in marketing funds for pre-approved, co-branded messaging, helping you connect with your community while benefiting from the national reach of NAPA branding. Combine that with preferential referrals, and you've got a powerful marketing advantage. Gold certified status enhances consumer confidence with an extended 36-month, 36,000-mile peace of mind warranty and local labor coverage, proving you stand behind your work. You'll also gain access to award-winning NAPA Autotech training for technicians and service advisors, helping improve efficiency, reduce comebacks, and support retention. Additional benefits include NAPA credit card financing rebates, year-round peak performance promotions, NAPA Trax shop management software, SmartSign Pro customer engagement displays, a team tool rebate to invest in your technician's success, and a $300 annual credit toward Master Technician or Blue Seal ASE certification. Gold certified membership is designed to help you recruit, retain, and deliver the best experience to every customer. Are you ready to elevate your shop? Contact your local NAPA representative today to see if you qualify and start your journey to Gold certified. Contact your local NAPA sales representative today to see if you qualify and start your journey to Gold certified. Let's face it, your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. NAPA Trax was built from the ground up to make your business more profitable and efficient. We provide an extensive set of tools to increase and track profitability in real time. NAPA Trax offers the industry's best post-sale support, hands down, and we train your people on site. Yep, on site. And we offer remote refresher training 10 times a week, and customer support is open 6 days a week. Give us a call, visit the website, or join our Facebook community today to learn more. We'll prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. NAPA Tracks is always customized and tailored for you, whether you're a one-man shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice. Visit us on the web at NAPATRACS, that's NAPATRACS.com. You're so connected to the industry, you have your own shop. Where do you think the direction of shop profitability is headed?
I think average RO is going to go up, going to continue to go up. The cars are more expensive to fix, and the parts and the procedures for a lot of different reasons, but I think it's going to go up, and it's going to go up faster than it has in the past. It went up quite a bit last year, and I think that'll continue.
But Tom, is it because we're going to do a much better DVI? We're going to really concentrate on certain needs and not brush over what the customer came in for, but really dig deep down inside? We got to spend more time to get that RO up.
Sure. I think the primary reason is going to be the cost of the repair. When you're doing a better job with that, will help with that too. But I'm just talking about strictly from doing a water pump in 2025 to doing a water pump in 2026. I think the cost of parts are going up. And that just, again, that's just my crystal ball. Maybe it's full of clouds. I don't know. I think car counts are not going to go up very much. Even though we can attract new customers, the intervals are really going up now. And now we seem to be living in the world of the 10,000 mile oil change. That's the world we're in. They're going to come in once a year and get their oil changed, and they're just not going to come in as often as they used to. That finally took effect. I think efficiency and productivity are going up, and that's just because everybody's becoming better educated on how to run the business. Labor rates also, I think, are going to go up fairly quickly. Part of that is technician cost. Cost of a technician. I did a recent survey in Michigan. Experienced technician. I'm not talking the number one tech in the shop, and I'm not talking about the beginner, but just experienced technician. Average in Michigan was $99,000 gross pay.
Incentives in there or base?
That's your W-2.
It's the package. Okay.
Yeah, there's no benefits in there. That's all other stuff. Employment analytics really increasing. People are understanding what analytics are, and as they do that, then they're starting to use them and go back to them and learn even more. Equipment, software. I had quite a little revelation on this, and this is the kind of stuff that we know, but until it actually lands in your lap, then you really know it. And we bought a piece of equipment in 2017, a piece of diagnostic equipment, small item. I looked it up. We actually tracked this stuff now. It was $1,165 at the time. Good product, et cetera, worked fine. A couple months ago, tech said, yeah, this is getting a little out of date. We need a new one. And I let them find the stuff now. And unless it's weird, I pretty much just buy what they want. They found what they wanted, much better than the older one. Just technology improves, et cetera, And it was $169. Decreased in price $1,000 from $1,165 to $169 in 8 years.
Oh my God. What do you think, Tom? The cost of technology, the competition out there that would have reduced that? Yeah, okay. I knew the answers. Oh my God. Okay. I love this example, but where's ADAS going? I mean, is it going up, staying? Any idea where that equipment cost is from just even 2 or 3 years ago?
That's still kind of finding its legs, ADAS. And what I find, you talk to shops, and their opinion of it is all over the spectrum. Some guys say, yeah, we already have it. And next shop you talk to, we don't have it. We don't have any plans to ever get it. And everybody in between. And then the pricing, I think that once it kind of finds its legs, I wouldn't doubt that it does just what I explained with this other one. I think you're going to see the prices go way down in the South.
Yeah, I am so opinionated on ADAS. I've seen so many demos. I've been in a ton of classes. I know people that sell the equipment. I've discussed with, ad nauseum with the trainers who get this, who know this. I support the reason that we need to get cars back into a calibrated state if we work on them. And I'm fine if I take it to the guy down the road, but the engineers out of Detroit or Japan or whatever, they're saying, listen, if you do this to the vehicle, you have to do a recalibration. And too many of us are not paying attention to that side of this thing. And I hope we never have a major lawsuit that says something wasn't completely fixed on the vehicle. And if we ever do someday, and I hope we don't, we're going to be selling a lot of ADAS calibration equipment, or we're finally going to just wake up and go to my friend down the road who has one and say, you got to fix this. We've got to convince the client that this is a required repair on your vehicle. It's just no longer the $99 alignment. It's now the $400 alignment. So anyway, I get that. And boy, I mean, to me, having ADAS equipment and doing the jobs is like politics. There's always two sides to every interesting story. I do think so.
Bottom line is really, it's market driven. I mean, you can take something and say, well, it's a mandated liability wise and all these things, you really ought to do it. I wouldn't argue with any of that. Now, and then if you're in an area where there's one shop that has ADAS and 20 shops that, and they seem to be coming along okay, they seem to be busy and the customers are good with it and everything else, you're going to have a hard time getting them over to the other side. So good luck. I'll keep an eye on it. I'll do it. Over the years, there's a couple of benefits by getting old. With this new equipment stuff, I wait and watch now. I mean, I really wait and watch because I've bought stuff over the years that I bought it and it just didn't work out. So,
Tom, isn't it something? You stop and think about what I just said about we did some major work on a vehicle and now the radar's pointing in kind of a bad angle down the road and the car's starting to act a little weird and the owner gets a sense and a feel for how the car used to perform before I had this work done. And I said no to the level of calibration. And many shop owners say, I just won't do that job if you don't want to have it calibrated. But there's such a great bunch of shops and consumers that are saying no to it. Do you think we're going to feel as a consumer, my car just doesn't seem to be acting right anymore? And could it have been the fact that I refused to get that thing recalibrated? Duh.
That's a long-term study to see whether customers do actually notice it or not.
I get it. And it's been my thinking of lately. The observation, the hearing, the feeling, the knowing, collecting all of your thoughts about stuff, no matter if it's my own car as a consumer or all the things that are going on in our world, Tom. The observations that we're missing because we're not paying attention to them.
And it's got to be something significant. One thing that people have ignored since its inception, I think around 1980, was check engine lights. So we got 45 years of check engine lights or whatever. And I just started to notice, since I don't do the write-up in the counter, I maybe notice it a little bit late, but I see the requests come through for service, especially this time of year. Everybody wants their remote start to work because they don't freeze their butt off in the car. But guess what? Check engine lights on, the remote start don't work. I mean, I got no cruise control. Everything quits working. And the people go, well, why is it not working? Is your check engine light on? Yeah, well, come on in.
Bingo. There's Mr. Observation. That's not supposed to be. Don't worry about it. It still runs. And that's how our life goes on. It still works. It still runs. We're still fine. Oh my God. It's so much fun to talk to you like this. It really is. Marketing. Are we going to get more sophisticated with the kind of marketing we need to do as shop owners?
Yeah, that's getting really, really cool. It's all the application of technology and data and AI and all that is coming in there. You can get so sophisticated with this marketing. I think you really got to get with one of the companies that really is on the ball with this stuff and is keeping up with it really well and hook up with them as far as a lot of your, when your internet type marketing comes through. So that's really getting hot to get with a really good outfit with that.
Yeah. The Automotive Repair Marketing Podcast with Kim and Brian Walker are on our Automotive Repair Podcast Network. They cover this stuff too. They're great people. And we've done a lot of shows recently, I would say in the last 2 months, and we still have other ones coming up on the whole AI impact of what it means and how it works on the marketing side. So please keep your ear to the ground if you see any of our episodes come out that have AI in the title or anywhere. Please jump inside of those. You're going to learn a ton of stuff. Now, let's talk about specialists or technicians. In order to find our quality employees, what's it going to take to find them and to get them and to bring them in, Tom? I mean, I've got my opinions. We've done shows on this with our recruiters in the industry, and there are some people that say, we don't have a shortage.
Well, it depends. It depends a shortage of what. If you're talking about people who can fix a car, they have the ability to fix a car, they have the mechanical abilities, They can pass a mechanic test, such as ASE, or in Michigan, we have state tests, some other place of state. But it's debatable whether we have a shortage of those guys. There's a fair number out there. The larger shortage, at least what I've noticed more and more, is the quality of the people. And you sit here and you watch it. There's a couple of old guys complaining about the young people. Well, I guess so. I guess that's what we'll do. But a lot of simple, basic qualities of common sense, common courtesy, punctuality, the way you interact with others, all that kind of cultural type stuff. That's a big part of any employee nowadays. And it's getting worse because that problem is getting worse because often these younger people, they're really not taught. They're not taught at home. They're not taught in school to, in the simplest sense, somebody says, what do you mean? Say please and thank you. Well, nobody ever taught me that. Well, that's a problem because you need to say that here. And there's other stuff we could get off on all kinds of tangents. Like some shops think, half the staff smokes marijuana. I don't care. Well, that's okay. It's not okay at my shop, but it's okay at your shop. So it depends on how you approach things like that. Is that an issue? In interviews, that nixes an interview for me. I'll cross that out. Some shops have no problem with it at all. But there's all these different people issues that are making employees more difficult to find. You can train people, you can train a lot of the mechanical stuff and a lot of other skills, but that stuff is not trainable. It either is or it isn't. That's what shops are seeing.
You just said all kinds of powerful stuff, Tom.
Oh, yeah, I get a lot of arguments going here.
Yeah, you talked about you're looking for solid people. So describe what solid means. You said well-rounded. Well, what's that? It depends on the owner. It depends on the culture of the shop. It depends on the team. You could have a high ethics and moral team and what your company is known for, and then bring in an individual who doesn't fit. Maybe your interviewing skills weren't quite right. Maybe they sold you a little bit more than they should have. And then that helps degrade that team. So if the soft skills are missing, but the rest of the team has the please and the thank you and the honest approach to everything, it's going to be difficult to find solid techs in the future because they haven't. And again, I always believe in this, to be able to find some missing link, solid tech specialists that are working at marginal shops and they just can't find their effort to get up and get out and find a new place. But some of them do.
Yeah, I think you see that too.
Yeah, and some of them do, Tom, but they don't have the kind of base of culture that you want to bring them into your place. And they either have a huge learning curve to get into your culture, your solidity, if you will, in how you approach things. And that's the job of you to recognize really good, hidden, great talent going to be if we get them educated right, him or her educated right, but we have to work on that soft skills stuff.
Yeah. I used the example the other day. You'll either get a kick out of this one or you'll look it up after the podcast. One of the two is I said, I will buy tickets to a Post Malone concert, but I don't want him working in my shop.
Okay. I understand. I get it.
Okay. Anyway, if you don't know who Post Malone is, look up an image and you'll know what I mean immediately. But there's stuff out there, and that's just a different culture in our shop. There's some shops where he would fit in really well, but he wouldn't fit in our shop.
I hear you. All right. Well, let's talk about the super tech.
The super R&R tech. There's a kid we knew that we got him a job at another shop when he was like 16, 17 years old. Shop owner was skeptical on hiring him. I said, I think he's got really good potential talent. I had to convince the shop owner to hire him. And I did a good sales job. Got him to hire him. Within the first couple of weeks, they gave him an engine swap. He did it in half the book time. 17-year-old kid, never done it before. So you have people like that just have a talent, the spatial thing they can see when they look at something with their mind, how they can see around corners, and they know exactly the first tool they grab is always the right one. And they just really have that ability to R&R stuff. And that's going to be the guy. And because of the diagnostic thing, and whether people like it or not, the reality is AI is going to be doing a lot of the diagnostics. And the sophistication and the speed of AI and the technology that's coming on right now, everybody will talk about it, but I don't think that many people can really put their head around it or their mind isn't willing to accept the speed that it's coming on. When we talk diagnostics, for instance, we're not very far from an appointment. Somebody's going to call into the shop. They're going to be talking to two people. They're going to be talking to your advisor, who you need, because an advisor is a real person with a body, with a soul and all that kind of thing. And they talk differently than AI. So it won't be strictly AI. You're talking to the service advisor, a real person, but the AI is the co-pilot. So the AI is coaching the advisor. And it might go a little different than this, but this is a general concept. They're going to call in. Here's my situation. All the data that we have is immediately there. As soon as they call, it's all up on the screen. I mean, we know how many miles this car is driven per day. We know where the car is driven. We know what speed is driven at. We know all the history. We know all this data is right there. And the AI is going to help ask questions. The service advisor is going to get off the phone. By the time the service advisor ends that phone call, the part's going to have multiple parts needed to do this repair. We already know what the repair is. The AI knows. It says, well, there's a 98.7% chance this is what it needs. So we might want to at least plan on that. We can double check it. Don't get me wrong, but we can double check it. It needs multiple parts from multiple vendors. The parts have already been ordered. It's going to say on the screen that some of the parts will be here at 11:15. Some of them will be here at 12:46. It's going to say that car's going to arrive. You probably ought to have Fred, the technician, do it. Have him pull it in Bay 4 at 2:15 this afternoon. That'll be the most efficient way to do it. All this thinking that we do now is going to be, that slows us down, is going to be taken over by that. And we're just going to have to follow the rules. We're going to be dealing with subjective stuff. The AI is going to take over the objective stuff.
Yeah, it's going to design our workflow, our schedules. Let me go back to something you said about 5 minutes ago about being such a great kinesthetic learner, the super R&R guy, right? That's why when I was creating my language shift in the industry and I was looking and I discovered that this Dia guy was really a technology specialist. And if you think about what AI is going to help that individual do, they're going to be able to really probably do more in the same time frame with AI support. And what I struggled with is, how do we redefine the word mechanic? That's where I came up with it. And again, I don't like the word tech because every other industry has technicians working for them. If it's nail or roofing or HVAC, everybody has technicians. But then how do we really respect the fact that people, are mechanical? And so that's why I created the mechanical specialist. We could call it the super R&R mechanical specialist, but I love the word specialist hooked to this individual that's so good with water pumps and he could do brakes with his eyes closed, right? I mean, there are people born like that. They just don't know that this high-tech industry that we're in, that they could come and work for us. I mean, well, I love to take things apart. I'm going to go be an aircraft mechanic. Well, wait a minute. You could be a mechanical specialist in the automotive field. We need you badly. And again, I think part of our problem is that we're not going out there and spreading the damn word enough. We're just not. And that's why we're doing this episode. And that's why I podcast. Because I mention this way too often, but I would hope that occasionally the shop owners get up there and get to the local skilled trades career centers and do some talking and get in front of the parents and go to my downloads page on my website, remarkableresults.biz, and download the poster that says, high-tech careers happen here, and put it on your counter and talk about it. I'm telling you, if there are enough people that come across our doors that need to see that poster and ask this question, what's this all about?
Some of these low-end industries, like everybody talked about the burger flippers, how the kids always start, when you and I were kids, we all worked at gas stations, and today they all work at fast food places. As the fast food places, they begin to automate, and a fast food place that now employs 20 people is only going to need 4 because of all the automation and robotics and everything that goes on. And you got 16 kids out there looking for a job.
Can you imagine? Wait a minute. I just had this wild thought. You go into McDonald's and you ask for, I want a large fry. And within seconds, the conveyor comes out, just conveying your thing of fries. It was never touched by a human being. It was all electric. I mean, I just saw some things on robots that they're trying to get the mouth movements to be, the rubber skin over the robot's head. And they're trying to mimic everybody's voice so that when the robot does talk to you, it's going to be so damn real, you're going to wonder. It's scary.
There's a video that we came across, and I think it was in our weekly newsletter within the last 1, 2, 3 weeks. Like anything, it should be easy to search, but it was in a Hyundai factory, and the Hyundai factory workers were watching the robot learn to do stuff. Okay, that's a fascinating video. That's a fun one.
I sat there in amaze. My wife looks over at me. She goes, "Why's your mouth hanging open?" Because when I see something way off the charts, I'm usually, if you're watching the video, you'd see my big damn mouth hanging open. It's so much fun to catch up with you, Tom. I appreciate this. Tom Ham from I Learned a Lot. Thank you for this. Autocentric, an import specialty shop in Grand Rapids, Michigan. AutomotiveManagementNetwork.com. Go. Finish it up, baby.
How about some good news? Turn on the TV, you get bad news, right? How about some good news? What's really going on? Here's a fun one, which I came across. You got to watch, find some of this stuff.
You're going to get out your whiteboard?
Yeah, we're going to talk about car thefts. And in 2019, there's 721,000 car thefts. 2021, it was up 932, went up a couple hundred thousand. 2023 wasn't going up as fast. I had 1 million. 2025, 581,000. It went down 43%. We dropped over 400,000 car thefts did not occur. That 2-year period of time went down that much. And the way it's at the pace that it's going, about 3-4 years from now, car theft should pretty much be gone.
Okay, Mr. Rove, why?
Why? I think vehicle technology, way harder to steal. Crime prevention technology, just being able to catch them and prevent them from happening in the first place with all kinds of crime and stuff. And I think you probably have a certain number of car thieves that now reside in other countries. I think that's maybe part of it too in the last year. But a lot of that's technology, a lot of that's AI all coming into that's real world stuff. It looks like the technology plane really started to go down the runway fast around 22, 23. Now it's going to accelerate. And I think a lot of people are just going to be blown away by the concepts that are coming. But that's real world stuff. If somebody told you 3 years ago that in 2 years, car thefts are going to drop 43%, you'd say can't be.
Yeah, you're right.
But they did. Those are the real numbers. So anyway, that's technology fun with cars, and a lot more is coming. That's going to change our whole industry radically. Our shops 5 years from now won't look anything like they do right now.
Well, thank you for putting a bow on this great episode, Tom. Hey, listen, next time I have you on, you have to do your Carl Rove invitation again. I love that. All right, Tommy. Thanks so much, man.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive repair business podcast, Remarkable Results Radio. Get your episodic education on the ARPN listening app at automotiverepairpodcastnetwork.com. Also enjoy the podcast on our Carm Capriotto YouTube channel. Carm is all for advancing the professional automotive service industry. Until next time.